Hello again, everyone. We met with a video in this presentation. Before making a presentation, I would like to make some notes about my presentation. It's important that these are the facts only based on evidence. It's totally scientific. So I'm not just a doctor. I'm not or anything related to doctor. I'm just a scientist. I'm making this presentation based on evidence. So please don't take my words directly as a doctor words, like depending on a kinship marriage. I don't suggest you to make a kinship marriage, or I suggest you a kinship marriage. I just only define circumstances based on scientific evidence. That's all. So please, by watching this video, note that I'm only making a scientific evidence. I don't do anything else. So I don't definitely support any type of any type of I mean, how can I say? I don't support society norms. I don't support any religious types or anything related. What it comes to your mind it must be a scientific evidence. So please note that. Thank you for your understanding. Hello everyone. Today we are together again with a presentation related to marriage, culture, genes, and I will talk about some subjects varied in anthropology discipline. I mean, these subjects are vary from real life examples, and also we know that anthropology is very a science of humans, so it studies social cultural perspective of humans, also biological perspective of humans, as well as archaeological perspective and linguistic perspective. So, but of course, these four subfields can be divided differently according to society. For example, English society may not define linguistic anthropology, whereas American society may define linguistic anthropology in its in one of its subfields. Yeah, so let's start gently about the subject that we can talk about in this section. I will mainly concentrate on the subject about marriage, culture, and genus, and I will be talking about these concepts mainly, and then I will concentrate on some questions on the line about considering one of these concepts. Yeah, and from in the like side you will be seeing about key points, and here is, as you can see, there's a 5 different key points that I will show in this presentation. That I will show different marriage types. In this section, I will tell you what we can understand from marriage as a Western society people, and how marriage can be divided into different categories, or is just marriage is it just marriage? Sorry, or is it what we know about marriage correct? I will answer the question about whether the marriage can be defined just one definition, or just or marriage can be in a broader scope. I will answer those interest areas in the further questions, and also I will be talking about how marriage can be defined, how marriage how I answered actually this question, this area, how marriage can be defined. Is it just what we know from our culture, or is there more about our sorry, is there more about our perception? That's the really focusing area of the question. And also there is one more area, that how cultures shape marriage, and this is very important fact in terms of defining the marriage, because if a society does not accept the rules and also the characteristics of a marriage, and that really affects the people. I mean the marriage type really affects the society. So because there's a cultural understanding of the marriage. So and we will understand by looking at those features of marriage. In the wiki, we will say that there is no limitation of marriage actually, because culture shapes exactly the role, or culture shapes the marriage exactly, because if the culture is interacting with another elements, which is how the marriage should be done, and all the intersections of these cultural facts involves about how the marriage can be shaped in culture and between people. So, but we will further discuss about the theoretic examples of how those can be defined. And is kinship marriage dangerous? And this is a very important question. But well, we will answer whether it is dangerous, and then if it's not dangerous, what we can say. If it's dangerous, how we can define this dangerousness. This is a very key example of our important example of a study area. So and also how genes affect new offspring. So these are the very important area also, because we will see and intersections between kinship marriage, and then genes affection on the offspring, and we will further discuss on the next points. So yes, let's start with another examples, different types of marriage. So let's start with the question: is marriage lasting between two individuals, and is there anything unknown? Well, from the Westernized perspective, we can say that marriage lasts between two individuals. Yes, and that's really true. But however, if you go just back to if you know you actually sorry, but actually if you look at India, for example, we cannot say that marriage lasts between two individuals, because in that tradition there is one example which was studied by someone. I don't remember his name or her name, but he's in his article, in his or her article, we note that there is a marriage ceremony in one culture, and then after the marriage, the man goes back to his own area, to where he lives, and then marriage means woman or woman woman is open to sexual intercourse with men. So that in that case, there is not any limitation to one individual, because in the Western societies, from the cultural perspective, we see that if you marry with someone, you cannot have a sexual intercourse with someone out of your wife or husband. So, but however, when you look at the Indian example, we see that there's a marriage occurring between a man and woman. However, in the end, man goes back to his own area where he lives, and in that area also, I mean, where woman lives, it becomes a different place, because in that case, woman is open to sexual intercourse with men. That means any man can have a sexual intercourse with women. So there's the opening of sexual intercourse relationship with men. So this is a different definition of marriage. So we cannot say that is marriage lasting between two individuals only. And I mean, there is not exactly the same example from India. Also, and accordingly, we can say that the marriage has different perceptions according to a culture of the society. So culture of the society prepares and also declines the norms and also rules of the rules of the society. So if society disobey the norm of the, in the example, for example, in the West, and they really disobey the norm of the India, for example, in the West, and also you cannot have a more than one, you cannot have a sexual intercourse with more than one man. But however, in the India, there is not exactly the exactly same circumstances. There is actually marriage means that women are or men are allowed to reproduce and create a nuclear family. This is basically about what happens in westernized societies. But yeah, so the marriage changes from society to society and from state to state to culture. So it may not be different, same for all societies. It's a very cultural perspective. Say, and also, yeah, I would like to concentrate how culture shapes marriage. Well, I can say that dominant culture group always shape the culture of society. And also, this dominant culture can be a government or scientist or can anyone who affects anyone, any person, or millions of people. It can be, and also they are able to control those dominant culture group constitutes everyone who is able to control and shape the society. So this is about the basic thing about marriage. How culture shapes marriage. Because there is an obligation obligation to obey the rules in society, and there is sometimes decisions which is acting louder than request. So, for example, if society does not allow you to marry more than one woman or more than one man, you have nothing to do. You have to accept the society's norms where you live. But however, if you live in another society, this rule may not exist. So this is a very, as I said from previous slides, I can say that culture plays a very important role in this context. And by that, the rightness of the wrongness of the facts, which is variable. For example, if you may not accept, or you may not find it correct or right to marry more than one woman or more than one man. But however, other society can accept it and it can decline as a norm in the culture. So this is also the fact that every society might not act the same, and also as I told you, these facts can affect the society, and then one society can find it right to say, yes, I can have a man more. I can have a more than one man. And also another society can say, no, I cannot have more than one man because these are the not wrong thing, and then other explanations can occur. So there is where the culture intervene to act. We can say that exactly like that. And also, institutions plays an important role for the either majority of the society or parts of the society in terms of culture. Yeah, as I said, for example, let's say, for example, Darwin theory. Darwin theory is very effective throughout old disciplines, because even though there is a people who do not who does disobey the theory of the Darwins. However, there are still so many people who obeys the Darwin rules and accept it as a correct. So, uh, um, so it's we can say that institutions who are involved who are shaping the culture are very important to intervene the culture and then shape the culture, and then uh, and considering these facts, culture always decide on right and wrong. And is kinship marriage dangerous? Well, not exactly, because considering the facts that I've faced throughout my education, actually, there is lots of people from eastern part of Turkey who makes a kinship marriage, and they have a children from kinship background. They do not get married with someone uh, who is they don't get married with someone who is out of their culture, and not all of them are unhealthy. I mean, not all of them are giving unhealthy offsprings. This is the fact. But there's an important question: how this fact involves. I mean, how people give unhealthy offsprings to the world. This is the question, and yeah, because why is not dangerous? I can say that because the genes are playing important role for shaping the health of status of offspring. And is kinship marriage dangerous? No, as I said. However, let's see how genes shape the society. This is a very important point. Genes affect new offspring. How? Let's discuss. If because if genus carries a disease-related genus, and if genes carries disease-related genes, that it increases the risk of being unhealthy offspring. For example, how this occurs, because if someone carries in the genes that which are unhealthy in genetically, this may pass to the offspring, and this is the case. And it doesn't mean that only if you make a kinship marriage, you will face a unhealthy offspring. You may face a very healthy offspring, but this depends on the genes. If you must have a healthy gene, and also you must have a gene which is less likely to see less likely to have disease-oriented genes, so that these disease-oriented genes may not pass to the individual, and then therefore individual may have a healthy maybe a healthy offspring, and this is the case. Yeah, so what we have to look at is that in that case is that DNA is very important point. If someone has a healthy DNA, and then also which that individual he or she matches must have a very healthy genes, and this is very important. And also, and because of that, if you have unhealthy genes, you may not have a possibility to pass the genes of the individual. I mean, you may not have to have a pass the unhealthy genes, which means you cannot have give a healthy offspring in the genes. So important that it's important whether you have a healthy genes or not. If you have healthy genes, you are more likely to give offspring healthy. If you have unhealthy genes, you are more likely to give offspring unhealthy. This is the point. So that's the end of the presentation, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. I'm expecting your comments related to this area. So if you want me to do another video, I can do it easily. But for this section, for the next section, I will decide on what to do about video. And yeah, I will exactly assess the general requirements, and also I will make a video. So see you again. Until that time, I wait your response, and you can follow me on the Instagram, also on YouTube, and this is where I show my videos mostly. Bye bye.